Welcome back. I wanted to speak about Charlie Kirk because it's been dominating the news, and I just wanted to get everything I had out because I had seen a lot of his rhetoric before, made some videos, and to be honest, I got him out of my recommends. I really wasn't paying attention to him as much, but I felt like I said what I needed to say about him, and he was the second wave of the alt-right, in my opinion. The fact that he was a community college dropout who was whining about women who completed their degree and they reached higher levels than he could have dreamed in education. It just seemed like this has to be a joke. But he is an American conservative political activist and radio talk show host that supported the MAGA movement and is co-founder of Turning Point USA. He tragically died allegedly by the hands of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. The young man Tyler shot Kirk from 200 yards away at the top of a building on the roof at an event at Utah Valley University. He was struck in the neck, and if you've seen that video, because I have, he was not going to survive that blow. He leaned to the left and could not stop himself from falling to the left. Everyone was screaming and running in terror. Tyler's family is from the Mormon Church. They are conservatives. They are Trump voters. They are MAGAs. He was very agitated by Kirk's ideals and views to the point he decided to allegedly take Kirk's life. Charlie Kirk is now a victim of white-on-white crime from allegedly a young man raised by a two-parent conservative Trump-supporting family. This was a very violent crime. Tyler was a smart, colorless male raised in church and a good American citizen. I hope prayers go out to this young man. Something seems very wrong here. He may have experienced a mental break or issues. He should get the help he needs if it was him. So throw some prayers his way if he is even the shooter, because you are innocent until proven guilty. And this is an ongoing case. Something truly disturbed the person that committed this crime. Kirk lived his life as he believed with his whole soul. A conservative, evangelical, MAGA-loving Trump supporter. He was a liar, bigot, racist, and overall moron that dropped out of community college. Charlie was married to his equal, Erica, because you must believe as your spouse does to be with them. She is even more conservative than he is, which he stated when he was alive. They created two children in which Kirk stated if his daughter was essayed at 10 years old, she would give birth to the baby. Now there are tears and anger from conservative, colorless males about the slang around the world as if this was the messiah to their PDF file god, Trump.
Such bullshit! I've never been so pissed in my whole life! And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah! I'm so freaking pissed right now! This is bullshit! I just saw blood squirting out of his neck! I love that guy! He would have been our next president! I am so pissed right now! Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it! Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people! Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now! I'm so pissed! Damn it! This is such bullshit! I've never been so pissed in my whole...
Kirk was the embodiment of the ideals many colorless people hold the world over. I didn't say all, but many of them. They were vowing vengeance and blood until they found out the alleged suspect's background. At this point, we should pray, forgive, hug it out, and move on with our lives, right? In honor of Charlie Kirk, empathy is a new age thing, and we should understand this was an acceptable loss to protect our Second Amendment rights. This happened the day before 9/11, which, to be serious here, it's an alarming wake-up call to become woke. 9/11 revealed underneath the rubble of the Twin Towers a symbol of America's wealth lie beneath, a grave site of the enslaved. Now, a person that glorifies his benefactor, PDF file-in-chief Trump, an enemy of the Black community, lost his life at the hands of an alleged conservative raised young man that thought Kirk's views and ideology was way over the line and violent to the point he had to be stopped. That should tell you something. Yet you people will not heed the warning. This is a warning for you to stop what you're doing, stop what you're planning, and turn from your wicked ways. I know you will not listen because you've been given up to a reprobate mind. So you will stay the course of what your Lord and Savior PDF file tells you to do and what this party tells you to do. And I personally do not give a half of a fuck about the death of a man that believes my mother did better when she was bussed into school and was a sharecropper. Not my grandmother, my mother. You believe that the Civil Rights Act should have never been passed because certain demographics, certain groups actually are benefiting from it now. So it means that us black people should have suffered with no civil rights just to make sure this group of people can't benefit for it, that we should just have continue to suffer, is what he's saying, because it's being used by groups, certain groups. It's sinister and it's evil and it's wicked, and that directly connects to my mother. And there is still those alive within my family who were sharecroppers, who picked cotton. Yeah, I'm a millennial, but they're still alive. And to sit up there and to tell these people that, yeah, you should suffer and you shouldn't have any rights and you should have stayed in the position that you were in then, being taken advantage of, and, just keep going back to the time of the civil rights, you can have your life taken. You don't even have to be looking at the person. The person can see you and be mad on a Tuesday and take your life. Sicking dogs on people, everything that was going on at the time, the hostility, we should just have to deal with that. And they have no consequences, all because he feels like a certain demographic, a certain group is benefiting off of it. How evil, how sick, how sinister. And then you ask me to have sympathy for this man, his wife, and his kids, when his wife agrees with it and both of them will raise them to agree with it. Like I said, you can kiss my black ass. They just want to go back to the good old days when they did as they pleased and got away with whatever they pleased. It's never going to happen again. I'm just going to let these people, you can plan whatever you want to. It's never coming to fruition. It's never happening again. Those good old days that you reminisce about every year you celebrate that you had people underneath your boot. On the 4th of July is when you celebrate 1776. And that's when you had your boots on our neck and you salivate about 1776. You love 1776 and you want to go back to 1776. It's never going to happen. What's actually going to happen is the PDF file in chief with his flawed plans are going to rip the spine out of this nation, unbeknownst to him, because of their racist ignorance, will hurt so many of their own. The very guns they have been piling up for a race war will be turned on each other. The irony, it's already happening. We get to see it in 4K. Now, we have seen this situation unfold to where black people have nothing to do with this, and they are still trying to pull black people into this, threatening HBCU students over one of their own taking Kirk's life. But they have the high IQ. One of their own took his life. Bomb threats to HBCUs. They use every opportunity to come after us. It's just, they are sick in the head. They're disgusting. Sometimes I wonder if there's a soul in there. People used to say, animals don't have soul. You can look in their eyes. They don't have a soul. Animals have empathy, sympathy, and a soul. I'm starting to wonder about these, because they will forever have a forever burning hatred for black people and will not do right by us. Black people remain on break, rest, do nothing for others. Let them stew in their unrighteous rage, which will cost them more than they ever thought. We should not laugh at the demise of political figures for their beliefs, they say, but Malcolm X is no longer with us. MLK is no longer with us. What they did to the Black Panther Party because of their political views. Laughing and celebrating death is abhorrent, they say, but yet they were laughing and celebrating the deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, Emmett Till, which to this day, I believe, like I said, she sacrificed that boy to save her ass from being beat from her husband. But Emmett Till, George Stinney, a 14-year-old electrocuted to death by the state of South Carolina by an all-white jury for a crime he never committed. Trayvon Martin, they were Trayvoning, laid out in their hoodies with their Skittles and tea laid out like it was funny. And the gun used to take Trayvon Martin's life sold for $250,000. George Floyd, It was funny that he had a knee on his neck for almost 10 minutes and his life was taken. A Tatiana Jefferson, Sandra Bland, Sonia Massey, Sade Robinson, Tamir Rice, only 14 years old, Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray, Mike Brown, Philando Castile, Elijah McClain, the twins found dead in the mountain area, truckers missing, some 2 black men found in trees deemed self-harm. I have a story where one man was in a tree with his hands tied behind his back, deemed self-harm, and so many more. And they've laughed and mocked and scorned. It's been so funny, even with the 14-year-old kids, even with the baby. It's so funny. But then they want you to cry and lament over the kids' lives lost in the flood. They want you to cry and lament over Charlie Kirk, his wife, and his kids. With all the school shootings, should we say colorless women are bad mothers raising thugs in their home? Should we profile colorless males as unhinged and a danger and menace to society? What does this mean for the colorless community? What does this mean for others who have to go to school with their children, knowing that one of the males could become unhinged and take it out on them in the school? They could just catch a stray because he's mad on a Thursday. Should this demographic have access to weapons at this point with everything that's going on and how many kids have lost their life, how many people have lost their lives? Their community is looking very dangerous, very unstable, and to be frank, a problem in this nation. We need to seriously be looking into protection. And I'll go ahead and leave it right here for now. There'll be more to come as more unfolds. This is an ongoing investigation. I don't believe we have the whole and complete story. There will be a part 2 because I've heard some rumors and I want to explore that, because even though I think very low of Charlie Kirk, even though I don't care what happened to him, there are some implications here. There's some weird things going on. And I believe that a lot of the people on the conservative side, they're dumb enough to sit up here and say, oh, this was a leftist. Oh, we're going to start picking them off and just start chaos in this country, right? And they definitely will not miss a chance to try and harm Black people. So we need to be prepared for that. But with everything that we know, knowing that, Benjamin Malachowski contacted him, knowing that Nick Fuentes has been a staunch, very loud critic of Israel, and now it seems like he's doing a 180. There's definitely more to the story than what we have so far. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.